Attention pro athletes. Want to secure your financial legacy and thrive off the field? Oakbridge Wealth Management, led by wealth manager Chris Anicetti, is your dedicated financial planning ally. But don't take it from me. Take it from the Dallas Cowboys' Tyler Biadasz. He says, Chris set goals financially and has been incredibly impactful in my journey in the NFL. Experience our customized, comprehensive approach, trusted by top NFL players. Don't leave your financial success to chance. Connect with Chris on Instagram at OakbridgeWM_Anicetti. That's OakbridgeWM_ANICETE, and let Oakbridge Wealth Management guide you across the goal line.
First sheet again, big opening, pass 5, pass 10, Vermont's a man, and he goes all the way to the 15-yard line. 17 yards on the carry.
Welcome back to Believe in Badgers on the Believe Network, presented by BetOnline.ag and Oakbridge Wealth Management. Once again, I'm Matt Perkins, joined, as always, by Badger legend, the Hebrew Hammer himself, Matt Bernstein. Bernie, how are we doing today?
Man, we are taking the axe back to where it belongs. You know, there's something about that game. No matter if you're 1-9 or 0-9 or whatever it is, man, it's just exciting. And it just brings back a lot of good memories. Some, I mean, I was there when we lost it, but some bad ones. But, like, man, you go on Facebook, you see all the dudes, they all put up their old pictures. It's just fun. Like, it's just like that. It's important to every person who's ever played in it. Nobody cares during that game about Michigan, Ohio State for 1 second. Everyone cares about the axe coming back to their trophy case. And man, it just makes me so happy that we were able to do it. In whatever fashion we were able to do it, we did it.
And on top of that, it had gotten back to being a tie, for a historical tie. Now Wisconsin has the axe, prevented at least temporarily Minnesota from going bowling. I guess Minnesota actually gets to go to a bowl now because there weren't enough 6-6 teams. So Minnesota, because their graduation rate is better than most other schools, actually gets to go to a bowl game, which, whatever. They're still going to have a losing season. They still don't have the axe. They still have less axes in the history of the rivalry than we do. And guess what? They're just inferior in pretty much every way, shape, and form. So we're going to talk about all that here in just a minute. Before we do, want to remind the good folks listening in around the world, around the galaxy, wherever they happen to be, that we are presented by BetOnline.ag, where they continue to be your number one source for all of your online sports wagering needs. You name it, they've got it over there at BetOnline. Head on over to the website or use your mobile device to sign up and receive a 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit with our promo code BELIEVE. That's BLEAV, BetOnline, where the game starts. It's Monday morning fullback time. We are going to talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly from the weekend that was with the Badgers taking back the axe. We will talk some big picture full season stuff over the next week or two with a bunch of different friends we've got coming in, and a couple of really exciting shows in the works that I am personally very excited about. Hopefully we'll be having another brother episode, a set of brothers that probably you guys aren't thinking about right now, but it's going to be a lot of fun for all of the folks tuning in. As it stands, though, for Monday Morning Fullback, let's talk about those silly little Gophers and the Badgers taking them down 28-14 over the weekend. The good, the bad, and the ugly. Bernie, let's get the ugly out of the way in the beginning, because there was more good from this game than there's probably been, at least in any other game so far this season. My ugly is, for the fourth game in a row, allowing the opponent to go and score a touchdown on the opening drive of the game. That was the worst part of the game for me by far. But after that, I don't have a whole lot of other ugly to talk about.
It pains me to say that we've said this almost every week, and my ugly is the exact same. We start so slow, we basically waste a quarter.
Yeah.
And again, against the Minnesota, against the Nebraska, against, even against the Minnesota when the axe is on the line, man, you can't do these things. We didn't score until midway through, almost 9 minutes left in the second quarter. Like, that's not gonna cut it.
It was 13 minutes left in the second quarter. So like 2 minutes into the second quarter
So
was the first
excuse
Braelon
me,
Allen touchdown.
but we can't do that, and that is start fast was always a motto with Barry, with Coach Alvarez, and we just haven't seen it, and it's weird. Now on the flip side, we are a end of the game second. It's just weird. Like we're like a second half team, but our half is like the second and third quarter sometimes, and then not the first or the fourth. It's just bizarre. I don't get it. I don't. You can't lip into games and to let a team score 7 points. Sometimes it's hard to come back from that, no matter what. I think the announcer even said he's like, you can't let the momentum swing this quickly.
So it's weird because in the last 4 games, right, when you look at Minnesota, Nebraska, Northwestern, and Indiana, in the second half of those 4 games, Wisconsin has given up a total of 3 points, I believe. Sorry, 6 points. They gave up a total of 6 points in those 2 games in the second half. That's incredible. But they went 2-2 in that stretch because they started off so freaking slowly.
You just can't do it. And that has to be, something that we work on for next year. Even the bowl game, right? You get 5 weeks, maybe a month of practice. We got to get ahead of this. I mean, starting slow is it could be the end. You could lose the game in the first quarter.
Mm-hmm.
Chasing points, as everyone knows, is not a good look. Like it's not what we want to be doing. We don't have the offense built right this second to chase points. Okay, so that I don't want to talk about the ugly because we won a game, and if we don't talk about Braelon Allen for like pretty much the whole show,
we should.
I don't know what to do. He looked like last year, the year before, Braelon Allen, man.
So let's talk about a couple reasons why that happened. Bernie, I can almost guarantee that what I'm about to say. One of the big reasons that happened was because.
Let's hear it.
They were running out of the pistol, baby. They were utilizing the pistol more. You get him downhill. That one extra step makes such a big difference. I've been preaching this since day one. I know the pistol's a little gimmicky, but if you've listened to this podcast for any length of time, I love the pistol. I love the pistol, especially in an offense like this. And guess what? It worked. And Braelon, and even those shotguns runs were working better. There was, and also I will say one more thing there. I've ragged on him this year, so it is time for me to, I guess, give him his flowers, as the kids are saying these days. Tanner Bortolini, best set of snaps of the season. They were faster, they were more accurate. No lollipops, and that helped the timing in the running game. So yes, it took 12 games, but I finally felt like the offensive line, and Bort in particular, actually did a pretty decent job in this game, especially in run blocking, which is what you would expect Wisconsin to be good at.
Again, the run blocking was much better than we've seen.
Much better.
You had, it's hard to say old school Braelon Allen because it was last year or the year before, but that dude making sharp cuts, one cut and go, and he was running in the open field. We haven't seen that either. It was like beautiful. I don't know what else to say. It was just gorgeous to watch him run in the open field, to get downhill, to break through the line. What else I love is that he was making people miss. He was trucking dudes. What do you have, 165 yards?
Like 190 something total yards, when you include the passing.
That's a day.
Something like that, yeah.
2 touchdowns, that's a day. And I would say the confidence level, when you watch Braelon run like that, the O-line's confident. Tanner Mordecai's confident. Everyone, the confidence level is boosted because when the run game's doing it and your best dude is doing it, dude, Yakimelli was trucking dudes and making people miss. By the way, that Mordecai run, I'm still not a huge fan of all these runs, but dude, he broke that dude's ankles. Was that in the first quarter, second quarter?
Second quarter.
Oh, that there it is. That's the confidence to make that move and go. So I really enjoyed watching the run game and doing it. And that's what Longo said to us. He's like, if they're going to give it to us, if we're going to succeed on these plays, we might as well run. So the air raid this game was pretty much a shotgun just running offense. I mean, we throw the ball 22 times?
Yeah, not a
and we
ton.
rushed 40-something. So that was working for us. And that means that the big guys up front were doing their jobs. We only had 3 penalties. Two or three?
In this game, the Badgers had 3 penalties for 45 yards. So each of them was a 15-yarder. But, it was a bunch of
But it was only 3.
couple defensive pass interferences and like a face mask, maybe something like that. I don't remember what the third one was.
Right. There was 2 definite. Right. The defense was getting hit early on.
Forkaran.
Yeah, but then he came in and had a huge play.
God, his first half was awful. His second half was great. So good.
But the thing is, I kind of love that about these guys. I just wish it would not be so slow. Like, you have a couple bad plays maybe to start the game, but not a whole quarter, not a whole half. But yeah, listen, these guys are bouncing back. He had 2 penalties, and then all of a sudden, just drills the quarterback.
Yep.
These things are important. We won the turnover battle. I mean, these are things we've had to do the whole entire season, and we haven't. And I do think we controlled the line of scrimmage, and I think Tanner looked good.
I thought Tanner looked good. I think both Tanners, Bordolini and Mordecai, look good.
I'm still a little nervous that we can't, on a 3rd and 2, we throw a 1-yard play. These things, I know they happen, and yet you and I we pick at everything that happens, but that's not okay. I think that happened a couple times. We had a 3rd and 5, and we threw a 4-yard play. It's like, guys, just get there. Get to the 5, get 5 yards. But it'll come in time. It'll come with experience. It'll come with time. But listen, 28 points, we haven't seen that either. So,
no. And on top of that, I want to also say when they did step back to pass, Braelon Allen was not great just running the ball, not great catching the ball. His pass protection was excellent in this game. I thought Braelon did an awesome job in pass pro in this game.
He killed a dude on one of those QB draws too.
Yep. Yeah, he was lead blocking. It was like you ahead of AD. It was it was fun to watch.
Beautiful. It was beautiful. Yeah, it's like he's fresh. It's like he just said, you know what, I'm just gonna go with my athleticism, get downhill as fast as possible, 1 cut, I'm gonna make it to the second tier just because I know I can do it. And there's something clicked for him, and maybe it was the old line, and I love that.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's huge. Maybe it's because we started spreading guys out, and we actually did a good job of catching the football and spreading the wealth. I would love to ask you this. We spread the wealth. DK was the guy, our leading guy, but he had 2 catches for 40-something yards, 46 yards. So it's like
it was. Bryson Green was out. Will Pauling was very limited, but again, Will Pauling caught that huge touchdown.
But he had 2 catches.
He had 2 catches. One of them was a touchdown. So
how many DK had? How many yards?
2 catches, 46 yards for DK. 14 completions to 7 different guys.
But the question I'm posing to you is, does nobody get hot because you're spreading it so much? They had a dude on there, he had 9 catches, 120 yards.
Mm-hmm.
That's a hot streak. Do we not have that because we spread it, or is it better because now a defense has to honestly honor every dude out there because it could come to anyone's way?
I think in theory, it's the latter. Right. I think in theory, it's like, oh my gosh, I have to worry about all of these different guys. But I also think that a healthy Will Pauling has more than 2 catches. And I think that if you want to talk a guy who's going to beast it downfield, it's supposed to be Bryson Green, and he was injured. Mm-hmm. And so and this is coming off of the Nebraska game last week where Pauling had 8 catches. Right. And so we've seen them have that go-to guy, at different times. It's mostly been Will Pauling this year, but I think that there are times that can be the case. But I think for the most part, they are trying to spread the wealth and find the best matchup, whatever that best matchup is. And if you don't have one guy who's winning that matchup every single time, then you're almost forced to spread it around a little bit like that.
Look at it. Braelon Allen had 3 receptions for 27 yards, but a long of 24. So that means he had 2
for
that were
3
for
yards.
3 yards.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, those plays are they're not worth. They're like running the ball and getting just tackled at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, pretty much. It's almost identical.
You know, like Hayden Rucci had 2. So like almost everyone had 2. Vinny Anthony, Riley Nowakowski had 2. He did have a touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
So like we're spreading the wealth. Yes, guys are hurt, so I get that too. That you don't have your deep threat, you don't have some of these other things. That makes sense. But is there like should we have a dude who like gets 5 catches, 90 yards?
Should we
Like,
have a Marvin Harrison Jr.? Yes, we absolutely should.
Well,
but like,
but also you can also like double-edged sword. You go and say, well, we ran the ball 44 times because we could do it.
Mm-hmm.
When we're through at 22, you're not going to get one guy with 10 catches.
No,
out of 22.
And also, this game you didn't have to. You know, they were playing from ahead the entire second half, right?
Yeah.
And so you're going to lean on the ground game more. You're going to lean on those quick passes to your tight ends, to a running back, to to someone getting open quick, as opposed to trying to take those bigger shots downfield. Which I still think, for me, one of my biggest frustrations this season in general was the lack of downfield shots in general. And then the drops when we did have downfield shots, right? It's sort of like chicken and the egg there. I don't know if maybe we stopped taking those because we were dropping them so much, but you would think that would loosen teams up a little bit, even the threat of saying, okay, here goes, Bryson Green on a 9 route. Here goes, we're going to throw the ball to Chimry on that deep, skinny post and see if, he can go up and make the catch. And so, I'm interested to see if we'll be able to get a chance to talk with Coach Longo, sort of have a year one sort of like post-mortem to see, what was tougher than he expected, what was, easier than he expected, and sort of what sort of philosophical changes he's going to have to try to incorporate after a full year in the Big Ten. Because I think that you saw this offense like grow and develop in the year. Statistically, yeah, it's definitely not been what anyone expected, right? We were all expecting like, freaking like howitzers and, I don't know, rainbows coming out of unicorns' butts and like, oh, here's like 4,000 yards passing. We're gonna have 2,000-yard rushers and no one's gonna be able to stop us. And it's like, no, like it's taking a little bit more time. And I think this victory in winning the Axe is huge for this team. I actually think that this game meant a lot more, even though they were already bowl eligible. Sending the seniors out with the Axe, having lost the last 2 times playing, and being able to, shove it into Minnesota's throat, win in their building, and play the most complete game of the season. I think that puts a lot more positive momentum heading into the 15 bowl practices that they are going to get. I think this also goes to show, like, the course, like sticking it to the course. And, there is still a lot of positive momentum here in this program.
Attention athletes. Do you want a frictionless and tailored financial planning experience to secure your future? Well, look no further. Introducing Oak Bridge Wealth Management, the premier financial planning firm for professional athletes. Led by wealth manager Chris Anicetti, our team provides a unique and comprehensive approach, ensuring your financial success both on and off the field. We understand the unique challenges you face as a professional athlete, from managing cash flow habits to planning major business purchases and navigating complex contracts. That's why we've developed a proven process, working closely with our strategic partners to provide seamless solutions for your unique financial journey. Our services evolve with your career, offering short, mid, and long-term goal setting, portfolio optimization, real estate investments, and more. As you transition to life beyond the field, we support you with career development and philanthropic ventures. But don't just take our word for it. Top NFL players like Chase Boulier, Tyler Biotish, Alec Ingold, and more trust Oak Bridge Wealth Management to guide them towards financial success. Troy Dye of the Minnesota Vikings says, "I really love the work that Chris and the rest of the Oak Bridge group do. I especially like the honesty and transparency when it comes to setting up financial goals and plans that best fit my needs and situation. It's time to elevate your financial game plan. Connect with Chris on Instagram at oakbridgewm_Anicete. That's oakbridgewm_ANICETE. And join the winning team.
And also, I think one of the things, like, they're showing that they are still very, very resilient, and that they are, especially on the defensive side of the ball. And we got to shout out Hunter Wooler again. I mean, yet again, what's he, 11 tackles in this game, and just showing that he really is, I think, at this point, the heart and soul of this team in a lot of different ways. We weren't exactly sure who it was coming into the season, and I think now at the end of the season we can look and say, like, Hunter Wooler is sort of like, if there's one player that embodies this team more so than anyone else, it's him, and especially the accountability that he took after the after the Northwestern game, heading into the last 2 weeks of the season. We see, when they did like the jersey reveal for this final game, it was Hunter Wooler's jersey that they were showing. It's like just a lot of little things that you see, like, yeah, this kid is like taken on such an amazing leadership role and has really propelled the team forward in some very, very positive ways. And so, hoping that next year, he might be able to make that step from all conference to all American safety, because he's got the talent, he's got the tenacity, he's got the leadership. And so now all he needs is a team that's going to win 10, 11, 12 games in 2024 in order to do that. But there's going to be a lot of question marks, going into that. We're not going to get that far ahead of ourselves right now. But Bern, I think we should talk about the defense a little bit more, because like we said, they gave up some early points and then just completely shut Minnesota down in the second half. We talked about Wooler, another interception from Ricardo Hallman. And I thought that, James Thompson on the defensive line had another really good game. Who are some other defensive standouts for you?
I mean, Jung Meta. I mean, these guys, he was running around the field. I mean, Hunter Wooler, you look up, you're like, where's the committed tackle behind the line of scrimmage? Where does he line up? It's really fun to watch him in the scheme, because he's everywhere and it's very confusing. And I think that's something that the 3-3-5 allows you to do is mess with, I remember UNLV, you're like, they had one of their best dudes, was stud safety. He was everywhere. You're like, how about this guy's lining up an A gap? Like, doesn't he have the center of the field? But like, so I think that, I think the defense allows a guy like Hunter Wooler to be everywhere he wants to be. And so I think that's special. I just like the grit of the defense. Yeah. Listen, we all started slow. So you can't say anything about either side of the ball. They both were literally, it's like they're in like a 18-wheeler in low gear. And then they can't get on the highway like until the second quarter. They get into fifth gear and they're like flying. But I loved what I saw. In the second quarter, third quarter, these guys are starting to move around better. They're starting to fly around. They're starting to play better defense. We had some blitzes that hit home. I think you're seeing we have guys on the field that are gaining more experience, have maybe bought in a little more because of Hunter Wooler, and are playing better football. There were listen, I hate to say, but we're still making other quarterbacks look like good runners. Mm-hmm. And I don't like that. But I think that comes with, maybe it's a scheme. Maybe maybe we're just like, this guy's never going to run the football and we just don't care. And maybe it's we're peaking the wrong spots and we're doing some of the wrong things. That could still be happening. I mean, this is still, again, 9-10 games into a whole new season. But what I'm excited about is that we ended our regular season with 2 wins. One to get into a bowl game, and then one for the Axe, right? Like, these guys could have said, oh, we're in a bowl game, we don't need this game. And there are a lot of transfer guys. So this is not like, for them, it's new.
Yeah.
For me, when you show up, it's like, this is our biggest rivalry. And you're told that. You don't experience it. And you get all these stories and you get these guys, and then you see the Axe and you're like, wait a second, we're playing for that? That's so cool. And then during the whole week, they play the videos of us, losing and Minnesota running around, or us winning, chopping down goalposts and running around. So it becomes more ingrained, right? these guys could have been like, well, we're going to a bowl game anyway, so it doesn't matter. But it did matter to, it looked like it mattered to everyone because I don't know, Matt Perkins, you tell me. I didn't see anyone outside of like us starting slow play bad football. Like I liked what I saw.
Yeah. I liked it. Like I liked most of what I saw this game. And I would have liked to have seen one of those last couple drives in the fourth quarter finish with a touchdown just to
Or just
really,
points.
or just some points just to make it a 3-score game. I think that's probably going to be my biggest critique there. I mean, I don't know if that's a bad necessarily on our good, the bad, and the ugly, but I thought that was a point of like, you really could have just put the nail in the coffin and give it back to them a couple times. Yeah, defense playing great. That's nice, but a 2-score game and a 3-score game are two very different animals. So
no, I would love to have somehow kicked a field goal.
mm-hmm.
I totally agree. Scoring 0 points in 2 quarters is tough.
Yeah.
But when you score 28 points, it's not that bad.
It's not that bad. But again,
I truly think if you score 31 points in a game, you should almost always win.
Yes.
So we held them to 14 points. I'll tell you what, I think our defense has done, outside of they give up some big plays, they give up a lot of rushing yards. They don't give up a lot of points. And we just haven't scored a lot of points. What's our defensive average? What's the average?
Points that Wisconsin gave up all year was 24 to Ohio State.
Okay.
Besides that, they gave up 21 to Illinois. Oh, sorry. They gave up 31 to Washington State.
I was about to say Washington State scored,
21 to Illinois, 24 to Northwestern, 20 to Indiana, and everyone else was under 20.
So you're saying you have an outlier, which is 31 to Washington. That was our second game.
Yep.
Right. We went there. All these things are not good things. And then 24 to 2 teams, and then less than 20 points or 21 points for the whole majority of the season. Mm-hmm. You're talking about that's good defense. Yeah. Even if, listen, all it matters, we all know this, you can watch the NFL all day. If they can have 500 yards of offense, if you have 15 points or 17, 20 points, you're not going to win. Like maybe, but like majority of the time, no. So
Wisconsin for the year finished 19th in the country, giving up 18.9 points per game.
19th in the country is pretty solid, dude.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just going to go off. That's pretty good.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good. Now, to be fair, it's a step down from Jim Leonard's defenses over the past.
Yeah, duh. It's a step down from a top 3 every year, top 1 every year. I get it. But we're brand new scheme. You're asking dudes who might be not in the position they're supposed to be in to play that position. I'll take it.
And what I will say on that, I was skeptical to think if the 3-3-5 could work in the Big Ten. I actually now believe that it can. I actually believe that the 3-3-5 can hold up in the Big Ten because we've seen the improvements. We've seen the defense get markedly better this season, in season, with, they've had to shuffle in a bunch of different personnel. We've seen different starters at, Alexander Smith and Fort Corrine have both started at corner. We've seen Latu and Brown be switched to starters. We've seen different starters at inside linebacker. And yet, we've seen them get progressively better, I would say, during the season. And to me, that is a big step in the right direction. Now, obviously, for this defense to take the next step next season means they have to add a pass rush. They have to get a better pass rush. Still only had 2 sacks in this game, and they need to be at a place where they are getting 4 to 5 sacks a game if they are going to really be able to compete with the top level teams. So I don't know if, that's going to need to be an upgrade in talent on the defensive line. I think it's going to be, a retooling of some scheme on some third and longs because, it felt like on every third and long, the Badgers are just going to rush 3 and drop 8 every single time. And, especially when you have some of these more athletic quarterbacks that can build up, make some plays with their legs, build some time for themselves, it can get a little bit frustrating. We're not getting pressure, more consistently because we don't have a Nick Herbig, you don't have a TJ Watt, you don't have a Zach Bond. bringing that, NFL level pass rush that you need in order to compete with the big boys in the Big Ten.
I think we're missing two pieces on the defense. I think you summed it up pretty well. I mean, it might be one or two D linemen, it might be a D lineman and a rusher, it might be a D lineman and a linebacker, but we're missing two pieces, I think, to make us very dangerous in a 3-3. I mean, if Hunter Wooler's dangerous and he's a safety, right? So then you're looking at the three levels. We need a pass rush and we need a linebacker.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we have good linebackers, but we need guys who are, I don't know what the word is, the guys who are just built to play in the 3-3-5.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think Christian Allegro is a future star at linebacker, the true freshman who got a lot of snaps this year. I think he is a future star in this defense, and he's someone that might be able to, as a sophomore, take that next step forward and be someone who goes from being a situational player, a quarterback spy, to being an every down player, someone who, he's flashed some of these pass rush moves. He's flashed some athleticism, someone I really, really like as an overall athlete. And I really like a lot of the guys that they are bringing in this incoming recruiting class. I'm a big fan of both Landon Gauthier, the linebacker from Green Bay, and up at Bayport in Green Bay, and also Thomas Heiberger, the edge rusher from South Dakota, who is coming in, who is someone who I think was under recruited and underrated by a lot of the rating services because he plays in the middle of nowhere in South Dakota, but he's 6'4" with all the athleticism in the world and reminds me a lot of Andrew Van Ginkel. So we will see how that turns out, but I would not say no to another Andrew Van Ginkel. That's for sure.
That's right. Listen, we're bowling and season's over. I think we accomplished some great things. I think we figured out a lot more than we wanted to, or we all thought we would have to, but I think that's not a bad thing.
It's not a bad thing.
But we're going to a bowl. Who knows who it is? It'll be against it'll be a solid
Music
bowl.
City Bowl. Come on,
against a solid opponent. And you know what? It's just exciting. This is what you want. You want to keep that streak alive. You want to keep the axe, and you want 15 more practice. So let the young guys get in there and get some snaps, and then you want to go somewhere and enjoy it. Right? Mm-hmm. The season is so long. These coaches went, even the players, up, down, left, and right. Now they can just go enjoy a football game. So for a lot of people, it's their last time ever snapping a helmet on. Just go have a good time.
Yeah, go have a good time. Hopefully it's down here in Nashville, Tennessee. And but no matter where it is, we'll be watching. We'll be keeping everyone up to date here on Believe in Badgers. So that's going to do it for us here on Monday Morning Fullback. Our last, I guess we'll have one after the bowl game as well. But between now and the bowl game, we've still got plenty of content coming from you for everyone who is tuning in. Plenty of more interviews coming up, some new guests, some return guests, and more of us. So we hope that you have enjoyed what you have heard and watched here on Believe in Badgers on the Believe Network, presented by betonline.ag and Oak Bridge Wealth Management. Thanks for tuning in, and until next time, on Wisconsin.
On Wisconsin. Oh, I love an Axe victory so much.